I'm not supposed to be here. Right now, I should be checking into a hotel in Tenerife. However, my dog decided to explode, and currently we're dealing with his recuperation of a major arse incident. How sad, too bad, oh well, move on, you love the bastards, don't you? Anyway, so, in this episode of What the Fuck Now, let's look at this new camera. Well, it's not a new camera, it's the handheld camera. So, I thought to myself, before I put all the bodywork back on, I started working on the bodywork because I thought everything was done mechanically. I did actually end up doing the front brakes, but not because there was anything wrong with the front brakes. I was looking in here and discovered that that small line there, if you can see it here, was for the ABS sensor, and it was tauter than a guitar string, and you can actually see it still. It was actually wrapped, spiraled round one of the brake lines, when all it should do is go down here, through that, and in there. So I had to take the whole lot apart, because this sensor is completely seized in here. So I had to take the whole lot apart to get the caliper apart, so as I could untwist everything and route it properly. You can actually see it's been so tight. The cable has been rubbing here. You can see that just there. And eventually that cable's going to go, so I'm going to have to order an ABS sensor, but I'll try and save doing that for now. But anyway, I started looking at, oh well, let's do the coolant system. Let's just check it out. So let's have a look in here at how much coolant is actually in the header tank. And I think you'll agree with me that there maybe should be slightly more coolant than that. So I used to own this bike myself, and I maintained it for the owner for years. Yet again, it's been lying through his fucking teeth. I haven't opened the radiator yet to see if there is actually coolant there. The temperature gauge does react, but I may as well. I'm here. I'm going to drain the coolant and put new coolant in it, and then I know the right amounts in it. So why don't you come round with me and we'll have a look in the radiator. Well, there is actually something in there. Greenish liquid, and it looks fairly clean. So that's not too bad. Right, let's get that drained. Let's have a look at my cap here. Cap looks fine. Spring's not seized. Yeah, we'll just give everything a good clean and give that a nice drain. Now, down here, this wee rusted plug here in the centre of the screen, that's the drain plug. So I'll give that a clean before I try anything. Give that a wee brush with a wire brush so I can get a good bite at it. And the bleed is this wee green choppy here. Hopefully they're not going to be too much of a pain in the arse, but we'll see when we get there. Right, okay chaps, let me get myself organised and we'll take it from there. Right, okay, so we have our 8mm there. I'm going to tap that on a bit with a hammer. Because it wasn't very secure. I just hope to hell. We're just going to have to go for this because there's no other way around it. Fortunately with this wee 1/4 inch drive, I can't put too much torque on it. I can still put a fair bit on it. I just... What's the worst that can happen? The worst can happen is I can end up with a bolt stuck in the fucking block. Oh, you beauty. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to give somebody the benefit of the doubt because that coolant's quite clean and it looks quite fresh. And that doesn't look like the worst washer in the world. I would like to see more coolant than that. There's supposed to be a litre in there. Ow! That's more like it. I will measure this in a wee minute to see how much we have. Okay, you're basically seeing this as I'm seeing it. This is the coolant we got out. Sorry, I was so confident I was going on to do something else. I've actually got the dash there because we have a screw stuck in there and I was hoping to get onto that today, but we're not, so there we go. So here we go. Jug, let's see how much oil we've got in this, or coolant even. Now, according to that, we've got 650 mils, which is far too low. And I'm hoping I've done everything right. So it's probably just stuck behind the thermostat. I will say it's very soapy. It's a bit too soapy for my liking, but there you go. Right, what we're going to do, I'm actually going to put very good quality coolant on it. Not because I want very good cooling. I'll put this over here and get it out of the road. If you can see that there, that is the good stuff. The reason being is This bike isn't going to, it's certainly not going to be used daily. Monthly is probably closer to what will actually happen. So I just want the coolant to be able to be stable for long periods of an activity. And you know, I could, you know, ride the bike in August and not ride it until February, or you know, something like that. I don't go out in the wet anymore. So I want a good quality coolant that I know is going to be stable. This is usual. It's an OAT, organic acid technology. It's the silicate version, the one you usually get in Mercs and BMWs and things like that. Trade, it's actually not that dear. I'm going to mix that with deionized water, which is what you're supposed to do, but nobody ever does. Again, it's for stability. I just want it to be able to sit there and not do its thing. So we'll mix that up. The whole system takes 1.3 litres, including the header tank, which we now know was empty. So we'll mix that up. Header tank's empty. I'm not really worried about in there. The interesting thing is that is pink coolant in there, so there's been not too much coolant in this for quite a long time. The temperature gauge has always been fine. There you go. Anyway, so let me get organised and we'll mix some coolant up, and we'll. I have my. That's my drain plug with a new washer on it. It's an A-lock, which is one of these bolts with pre-applied. Let me start again. It's an A-lock, which is one of these bolts with pre-applied Loctite. So I've Loctite there. I'll put that on it, torque that up. I can leave that in. The bleed one sits on top of the. I think that's the thermostat, and the one down below there is the water pump. So you fill from the radiator until it starts dribbling out of this one, which is this wee puppy here. So that's that one there. Then you put that plug back in and you keep filling until the radiator fills up. Now you can see the radiator's there. That's there. Let me say it this way. That's the bleed. That's the radiator tank. They're pretty much the same height. What you do is fill it until it comes out of the bleed, which is here. Keep filling until you're at the neck of the filler, which is there. Put the cap on that, put the cap on this, run the bike until she's up to temperature, and then you top up the filler and top up the header tank. So that should be us. It's easy peasy. We'll get on with that. Back in a sec. Okay, chaps. Now, I'm going to try and do this with my bad hand, so let's make sure, let's try not to make too much of a mess of it. Just basically have to watch. So I can't get a screw, I can't get a camera on here and a camera on there, unfortunately, so you'll just have to believe me when it dribbles. The other thing is I can't really see it. Nothing yet. Yay, there we go. So that's the coolant at the level. Actually, that was just a wee spurt. Let me just try a little bit more. No. Air. Yes, definitely coolant now. Right, okay, that's fine. So now we can put this in. Good. And I'm just at the wrong angle for that. So let me get a UJ. Right, off you pop. Right, okay, so we've got coolant up as far as the top of the cylinder head. I've no leaks that I can see. According to this, I've got coolant up at the top of the header tank. Or sorry, not the header tank, the radiator header. So what I'll do now, that is pretty much exactly what came out of this. What I'll do now is run it up to temperature and top it up and top up the header tank. So right, that's that wee bit done for now. Well, of course, to start the bike I have to put the dash back on, so I've just cable tied it on. So let's everything done the usual up there. Pull this. Hold on. Sorry, there we are. Burning all the old coolant off. Good, good, good. This means I have to have the garage door open and it's fucking Baltic outside. You do realise how much I suffer for you guys? I'm just going to leave that running for 5 minutes, so I'm going to turn the video off. There's nothing interesting about watching a bike run. Woo! It's exciting, isn't it? Back in a bit. Right, so that's been warmed up. I've already checked in there, and that's sitting at the right level. There's been no drips or anything from either of the plugs, so that's good. So I just need to check the level in here, and you can see there's a bit of fluid in there, but there's nowhere near enough. Well, it's more than I thought, actually. So what we'll do is, can't really see where the level is, but I've got a little bit more here. It really is incredibly difficult to see. And right, there's my level over there. So let's see if we can shine that here. We're just below the upper at the moment. So what I will do is that's actually drawing that back into the system. So that really is phenomenally difficult to see. Hold on a sec. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Right, that's sitting spot on the upper at the moment. I'll let that cool down overnight. I'll run her again. And we'll see how that looks tomorrow. But hopefully that's the coolant more or less replaced. And upper. Yep, that's looking good. Right. If that's correct tomorrow, I'll be able to get on to bodywork. And that means I'm on the home stretch, which is pretty good. So, happy days. We'll talk to you soon. Cheery bye.